Hi everyone, so today we're going to start a new project. We're going to build a new deep learning framework from scratch. So today what we're going to do is the linear forward propagation in ReLU. So if you don't know, let me just show you an image. Maybe I've seen this sort of image or something similar where you have some neurons connected in layers and then it goes to an output layer. So pretty much what we're going to do is try to solve a problem where we have some features and we're looking at a house price. So this is our data set. Our data set might be different kind of features. For example, if there's a pool, right? Or maybe the number of rooms, or where is it located? And we're going to do some simple calculations in order to find the final price. And we're going to try to get as close as possible to the actual price, but we're not going to do everything today. Today we're just going to focus on the forward propagation, which is pretty much these lines until the outputs. And we're going to do an activation function, which is stupid easy, which is pretty much this. If the value is negative, we return 0. If it's not, we just keep it as it is. All right. So these are the formulas: the dot product plus bias and the activation functions. And if you don't know what's a dot product, maybe you haven't taken like a linear algebra class or whatever, it's pretty simple. So you just have two matrices, which is just a bunch of numbers, and you multiply the nth element of the first matrix times the nth element of the second matrix. So you can see a1 times b1 plus a2 times b2 plus a3 times b3, and this gives us a final output, like a scalar output, just one number. So this is a dot product, and then we just add a bias. And I think that's pretty much it for the math. I mean, this one's pretty similar as y equals mx plus b, if you have seen this formula in high school or something. But yeah, let's just get right into the code, because I'm not going to waste any more of your time. We're just going to create a new file called let's see, maybe app. Okay, so we're gonna create a Jupyter notebook because I love them. I love them. And what we're gonna do first is import our two libraries that we're gonna use, which is pandas as PD, import numpy as np. So pandas is a library where we're gonna take our CSV file. We're gonna take our data and extract the information, and Numpy is the primary library where you use it for scientific operations. So in our case, it's going to be especially for like dot products. All right. So okay, so first let me see if I have the data. Yeah, so we have the data which I told you about, which is pretty much the housing data. So we have a bunch of features, and now you can't understand nothing because it's a comma separated value type of file. But if we do data equals pd.read csv, I'm just gonna take this, and then we're gonna just do head so we can see the first 5 examples. And we don't have data.csv because it's not data.csv, it's string.csv. All right, so these are all the features we have, and this is going to be our output neuron, which we're going to look for, which is just the sell price. All right, and in this case, you can see like 200,000, 180,000, whatever. And we're just going to do a couple of like pretty dirty pre-processing, which is we're going to do first select D types, include NP number, and drop NA. So this first function pretty much takes all columns that are numerical. So you can see that there's a lot of categorical columns like this one, the street, or utilities, or I don't know, cell type. And these are pretty much words, but usually you do some pre-processing to like convert it to numbers. But in our case today, we're not focused on that yet. We just want to build a simple class, which is a dense layer, right? But we're just gonna show a super simple example. So now we're gonna also drop NA. So we're gonna drop every example that has missing values, and also finally we're gonna drop ID axis 1, which is pretty much the ID column, because it's really not important in when doing the math calculations. You don't care if it's the first example in the data set or the 60th, you know. And if we redo this, we're just gonna have one data frame with all numerical features. And finally, we have the output here. And as you can see, if I believe correctly, we have 36 features because the 37th is actually our output layer. Now what we're gonna do is pretty much we're gonna copy this data, and we're gonna separate it into input output. So in our case, we're gonna do xpop sell price, which is pretty much take off this column from this this data frame and make it in our own. So now if we show the first house its price, we're gonna see 200,000. Okay, 208,500. So this is our first example. Our second example is a bit cheaper. Our third is a bit more expensive. So you pretty much understand. So we have separated from like output and inputs X and Y, which is output and input. Then what we're we're gonna show you a pretty simple example. So if I do x.iloc integer locate, because it's a data frame and we want to see the first example, and then we show the first example price, we can see this is our first example. It's features, which for example it was built into 2003, and there's a lot of features. Garage year built in 2003, whatever. It was sold in 2008. And then we have the output, which is the final price of all these features from the house, gives us a total value of 200,000, right? So let me just clear the output. Okay. Okay. Next, now we're gonna show the dot product, which is pretty much what we care about. This was just presenting the data frame, the data set pretty quickly. So what we're first gonna do, I'm just gonna show you the shape of our data, which is dot shape, which is pretty much 1,100 examples times 36 features. As I said, these are all the features and these are the examples. Now we only see the first 5 because of this function. And what we're gonna do, just to make it like more readable, number of examples, features, I cannot type. Oh my god. Features. Okay, we got it, I think. Yeah. Okay, so we have number of examples, which is this number, this is features. So we just took it, so it's more simpler afterwards to show it, to use it in code and all, so I don't have to remember all the numbers by heart. And now we're gonna do a test with the dot product, and we're gonna do it with our first example. So what we're gonna do is x.iloc 0, which is our first example, and we're just gonna put it in a Numpy array. And then we're gonna initialize weights and bias. So np.random.run, which gives us, I think, like a random normal distribution of in the matrix. So we're gonna do features times 1, for example. So 1 is our final predicted price. Then we're gonna do a bias, which is the same thing, but we're just gonna put 1 in it, because we only added once at the final. And this is times the features, because for each features we have a set of weights to multiply it. All right. Now we're going to show what's the core of the dense layer, the core math, which is super easy to implement in Numpy. We'll only do z1, which is equal to np test x dot product with the w and plus the b. And then we can even print it just because we're interested, and it gives us a minus $3,000 house, you know. So it's not the smartest AI right now, but it's gonna be later on in another video probably. And yeah, so that's pretty much this formula in Numpy. Okay, so let me just See, so yeah, now we see that it's negative, and it's pretty interesting because now what we're going to do is apply the activation function ReLU, which is a rectified linear unit or something like that, which pretty much, in simple terms, all it does gets rid of negative values. All it does, it takes the maximum between the current number and 0 and returns the result. So in our case, it's going to return 0 because it is a negative number. And usually it's not used in the final output layer, it's used more in the hidden layer. So I go back to the image. We usually use this type of activation function in these layers, in the hidden ones. But I'm just going to show you because it's a super easy yet super effective function that transforms the output of each layer. So yeah, this is like a pretty speedy introduction to linear and to the linear layer. So now we're gonna actually create the class. We're gonna create a new file called layers.py, and we're actually gonna create the class that does all these things. So I'm gonna say import numpy as np, same thing, and we're gonna build a class linear. And yeah, so first of all, we're gonna say def init, so we initialize. Let's see, so self input size, output size. Okay, yeah, perfect. So input size in our case is going to be the number of features, which is 36, and output size is whatever we want. In our case, we're going to say 1 because we're just going to build ML model with only one like hidden layer, right? I mean, it's pretty much going from input to output directly, you know, so it's a bit weird, but usually have like a bunch of different layers in between. So I can say like maybe output size 128, and then the next one's gonna be input size of 128 to an output size of 256, and then 256 to 1. So we have like a couple of linear layers before outputting the actual predicted value. And then here we do like we initialize the self.w, output size, and we do times 0.01 in this case, just so we have like a super small value because it's just better for training. So I think it just gives us like a small normal distribution in our case. And then we initialize with zeros. We can initialize with zeros, so with random numbers, it really doesn't matter because the AI is going to train itself and it's going to find the best appropriate B depending on our case. So this is none, and this is for backpropagation. This is derivative of W and derivative of B. It's not important for today's video. But yeah, now we're going to do the forward. So if you've used PyTorch, you know what this is. In our case, like we've shown in the notebook pretty much, all we're going to do is just the dot product of x and self.w plus self.b. So, I mean, we've seen it a couple of times. I'm not going to repeat it. It's pretty much a dot product of weights and features, and we add a bias and we return out. And yeah, so this is going to be pretty much our linear class. Of course, with time, we're going to do it better and better. And what we're going to do is out.py. So we're going to actually try it on our housing. Let's rename it. Let's say house regression.py. Okay. So we're going to import numpy once again because it's the best library ever. Import pandas because we need the data. Pandas no, super annoying. Then we're gonna import our class that we built here. It's pretty simple. We're just gonna say from layers import linear. Yep, here we go. So first of all, load the data. I'm just gonna copy paste because I'm not gonna rewrite everything. So I'm gonna copy paste this line. All right. And now I'm going to do the same thing here with the features in X and Y. And just because it's better, I'm just going to say, okay, let's do this just because it pre-processes our features. It's not going to be important to know this video, but at some point I'm going to explain it. Just going to make our our value super small so it trains better. And now we're gonna say x dots and no, let's say just 2 numpy, yeah. Just so it becomes like a numpy array, because right now it's like a data frame, which is not super convenient. It's not that it's not convenient, you could work with the data frame, but I just prefer working with the numpy array directly. And then let's try our linear function, a linear class, better said. So let's do like a a1, no, z1 equals linear 36. I mean, it is 36, but let's just be sure. Instead of 36, we're going to put features, because we start with the input number, which is always the number of features. Then we're going to say 1, because it gives us directly the price. And yeah, let's print z1. Oh yeah, sorry. So we have to say dot forward. Not forward. Wait, did I misspelled it? Dot forward. Dot forward. Alright. Then this is pretty much the function in our class that's going to do the dot product. In our case, we just input the x inside, so we input our features. Alright, so this initializes the class, and this does the actual like math in our case. And we're just going to print z1. What's happening? No, z1. Okay. So let's just see where it is. Python house revision. Yeah. So there's a problem. That's just amazing, because it just deleted dot forward. Perfect. Okay. Now it works. Okay, so we can see every price. Now we see that it gives us a super small value because we divided it by the features by the standard deviation, which gives us super small features as an input to our linear layers. But of course, if I took this off and do it again, we can see it gives us a way bigger value. I mean, it's not super big, but it is bigger, you know. So yeah, now let's just create quickly our activation function, which we're pretty much gonna copy paste. We're gonna do like a new, let's do a new folder, call it nn, like in PyTorch. If you used PyTorch, it's called nn. I'm gonna put layers inside. Ask me again. Here we have to say now nn dot, because it's in the folder. I'm going to say new file activations.py, and here we're just going to copy paste the function we created. So I mean, it's super small. I could have just wrote it, but I'm pretty lazy, so I'm just going to do this. And now I'm going to do the same thing. So from nn.activations import ReLU, and now we can say a1 equals ReLU and print a1. So we're going to see some of the values are going to be positive, some values are going to be just pretty much 0. Yeah, so now they're all positive. All right. And also, if you're interested to see the shape, logically it has to be the number of examples times 1, because it's 1 output price, predicted price by example. So we can see that's how many examples we had, and that's for every example our predicted price. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. We went over pretty quickly the linear forward propagation in ReLU. For next video, we're just gonna look how to backpropagate this linear functions, which are pretty simple. It's a bit more complicated, but I'll go over it slower and with more detail. But thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.